Hello, welcome back to MFWoodShop. I had the opportunity to go to the Atlanta Woodworking Show this year, and while I was there, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to pull some people off to the side and do just a quick interview. A very impromptu interview, more of a quick Q&A. They took the time out to do this for me and for you. So go down in the description below and check their channel out or their social medias. Let's get on with the interviews. All right, so I grabbed Alex from the Woodworking Show, and what's your channel and how can they find you?
I'm Alex Krause on YouTube, and I'm also Make My Day TV on Instagram. I do all sorts of stuff from laser engraving to 3D printing to CNC machining, resin casting. I don't have a general focus on anything. I see inspiration from all these other people out there, and I want to do it myself.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things where I want to branch out, and I want to meet all these people that I've drawn influences from.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest thing from coming here all the way from Kansas.
Yeah. Is this your...
This is my very first woodworking show.
Yep. I didn't remember seeing you last year.
Nope.
So what was the main motivation of coming that far?
Well, I talked to a lot with Chad from Mancrafting, and he's like, you got to come to one of these. All the people here are great. They'll welcome you, open arms, and you'll be able to just fit right in. And I got here, and it was just like hanging out with brothers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a community online can be just as strong as a friend you have just down the block.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say that probably most of us have more and better friends in the woodworking community online than we do in our hometown right next door.
Yeah, you find you come across people with very similar interests to you, but they might be doing something slightly different.
Yeah.
And you can kind of bounce ideas off those people and make it to where you're working on a similar project with a different outcome.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I mentioned this earlier, you know, there's 200 different ways to cut a dovetail, but you may know that 201 way.
Yep.
And I might combine all those 201 ways to create the 202nd way. You know, it just works that way, and that's one reason the community is just so awesome, and nobody's afraid to share anything and help out anybody, and that's just one of the reasons I keep coming back.
Yeah, I find that, you know, those guys who are doing something completely different off the wall, being like leaders and groundbreakers in this stuff, they're super willing to help you out and learn what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's easier to do that than pick up a textbook and learn.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's one of these things where these guys are traveling from all over as well, and just want to share knowledge.
Right. So is this your first woodworking show ever? Or?
Yes, this is my very first woodworking show ever.
Okay.
I've gone to like a few of the mini maker fairs, like the Kansas City Maker Fair, the one in Wichita, Kansas. It's nothing like this. There's all broad spectrum there, and I mean, I fit in pretty well there, and woodworking's a passion of mine. I really love burl and being able to see what people do with it.
Right.
So coming here to one of these things, and I went by the Arbortech booth, and I had no clue that you could power plane out a burl and make a bowl that way.
Right.
All I've seen is people doing it with a lathe, and started asking some questions with those guys, and they were super willing to be like, hey, this is what this was, and got to be kind of easy with it. And
yeah. So what is the YouTube creator, let me rephrase that, out of all the creators here, which was the most exciting for you to meet?
It probably had to be Izzy Swan.
Yeah.
I mean, that helmet alone, I mean, it was glorious.
Yeah.
He's bigger than life.
Oh, yeah. And Izzy is just a big old teddy bear. I mean, he is down to earth, and that's just the easiest way to explain it. He's a big old teddy bear. He looks big and manly and burly and all that stuff, but nah.
A couple other people.
He's a big old teddy bear.
A couple other people I'd like to see and hang out with was Paul Jackman.
Yeah.
Also very similar situation.
Absolutely.
Very larger than life.
Right.
Sterling Davis.
Yeah.
I had to take my pictures from way down below, so I didn't look like
He's a lot taller in person. Isn't he?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so I appreciate your time. So I do have a trivia question for you, and this is more of a kind of a fun fact type of trivia question, but it does have an answer. So Abraham Lincoln, you know who that is?
Yes, sir.
And every photograph he's ever taken, he does this. He doesn't do this. You will never find a photograph that he's doing this in.
I'm going to have to go with a smile.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll never find a photograph, and I don't know why. It's just maybe just a background. I don't know, but you'll never find him smile.
I think it might have been the technology at the time. It took a long time to develop a picture, and holding a smile for that long might have been very difficult.
They were all hand painted back then, wasn't they?
Yeah.
All right. So here's your grab bag.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, I appreciate your time.
Sweet. Ooh, you even got a trading card.
Yeah.
Yes, this is my very first woodworking show ever. Okay. I've gone. A community online can be just as strong as a friend you have just down the block. Yeah, I find that those guys who are doing something completely different off the wall, being like leaders and groundbreakers in this stuff, they're super willing to help you out and learn what you're doing.